Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning if you're calling in from the United States. I'm Andy Markle, and I would like to welcome you all to our first webinar series, AI-powered audits, smarter, faster, and future-proof. I'm joined here with my colleague, Nicole, and I'll let him introduce himself, and then I'll introduce myself and get into the meat of the webinar.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nichol Deaddis. I'm the Chief Customer Officer for Empower System, and I deal with all our clients globally. I was managing the professional service team and customer success team in previous 3 different GRC software companies, which you probably know about. And I'm also managing the product and R&D team at Empower System recently. And I've got quite a lot of background in GRC application, mostly audit, compliance, and risk. So I'll be very, very happy to guide you through how to use AI on audits.
I'm Andy Markle. I am the Chief Revenue Officer here at Empowered Systems. I have a background in IT service management and data privacy and security. I ran marketing for SaaS-based software for most of my career, and I've managed global teams to achieve results for IT service management and unified endpoint management. A little bit about us. So for those of you who are joining who don't know anything about Empowered, we are a governance, risk, and compliance software company that has a long history. Our past starts with Paisley in 1995 as the creator of the first automated audit management tool, Audit, and then the original Empowered Systems founded in 2001, which developed Connected Risk, which most of you probably know what that is today. We were then acquired by Thomson Reuters and then made into Refinitiv and then carved out into the company that we are today, an independent entity with new branding and new stuff as of this year. So we're very excited about that as well. All right. Are you or your organization considering AI for your audits or controls? A poll should pop up here shortly. And what it does. If you click the checkbox, it means yes. If you click the X, no. The poll here is to determine whether or not you are thinking about using or you will be using AI in the future. Give it another second or two. Perfect. Looks like about 76% of you are looking at using AI in the next in this coming year. So pretty excited for you to hear the content of our webinar. Well, I'll let you handle it from here.
Okay, let's talk about a little bit of the challenges that internal audit needs to face today. I mean, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I guess all of you are auditors or are involved in audit, so you know very well, better than me, what are the challenges. But the main one is the manual processes and limited business intelligence that we have got as auditor, and the limited or too much amount of data that is difficult to actually sieve through to get the relevant picture you're looking for on your audit. Identifying the right balance to audit, understanding that resources are limited, we cannot audit everything, every part of the organization, so we need to decide effectively what can we use, what can we audit in that particular audit cycle. And effectively the complex regulatory environment we are living on, regulations are not getting any easier, they are getting more and more, especially in different regions, different places of the planet. And we also need to understand what those regulations, how those regulations impact our business day to day. So there is a very big need of automation and audit intelligence. How do we move from being a little bit reactive to be more proactive in our job? Go to the next one. Okay. So the role of AI in modern audit management. So we don't have a common way of agreeing on what AI is, okay? Is a lot of different things. Is a very, very generic term that unfortunately, as usual, has been misused quite a lot and has been used for marketing more than actually delivering value to potential buyer. But generically, we can all agree that any AI is an automated system, an intelligent system that can sieve through data, usually a large quantity of data, identify patterns and exceptions, as well as execute tasks based on defined parameter and triggers. An example would be analyzing a transaction made by organization in the financial ledger and effectively spot if there is any transaction that is not random, meaning there is a human made and therefore could be suspicious. Doing that manually would take quite a long time and it would be almost impossible depending on the size of the organization. AI can do that in seconds. So what does AI do or could do? It would enhance efficiency, so it can perform multiple tasks at once, go through very large set of data at the same time, more than any human or any team of human can actually ever do. And what that means is that it can enable accuracy and speed, which will free the time of the auditor or whoever is using AI to effectively concentrate on more useful things that AI cannot do very well. And that, of course, will improve the risk detection that you've got in your company. The key benefit, again, are increased assurance coverage, which is the main thing about audit that we want to achieve. Identifying leading risk indicator, not lagging. So we want to be a little bit more proactive. AI can add on that. And increase the focus on qualitative judgment where quantitative judgment can be applied. So as soon as you've got a little bit more time freed up from the quantitative judgment, then you can concentrate on what AI cannot do, which is the qualitative part of audit, which is not going to ever go away. Next one, Andy. Okay, so what are some real-world application of AI in internal audits? One of the most promising one is anomaly detection. What is that? Is algorithm that can scan, again, large volume of data. And when I say data, I'm not talking about one data sources. I'm talking about different data sources. That's the key of doing the data analysis properly and getting the best from AI. With that, it can detect, by comparing the data, saving through the data, analyzing it, it can actually detect fraud, errors, policy violation, or anything that would be incredibly difficult to get from a human. Another very good one is the automated control testing. I'm sure that you've heard a lot that auditors should move a little bit more on automating and continuous control management rather than just doing things ad hoc. So AI can integrate with ERP system, CRM system, or any system you've got in the company and monitor in real-time financial transaction. And pre-trained model can compare the data against the control that you've got in place or should have, and you can make it easier to manage for an investigation or even effectively in real time spot a potential fraud before it happens. Predictive analytic and risk detection. That's another very, very big one that is coming through the AI risk. And what is predictive? But why do we need predictive analytics? It's because we want to come in before the actual risk becomes an issue, becomes material. So the AI use past data and can predict future risk or control failure. So again, connecting with multiple sources of data, understanding what past incident or past risk scoring has been applied to the organization, AI can effectively find pattern and it can find where a risk could actually happen or change the likelihood or impact of the risk based on past events. It will definitely help auditor focus on what is likely to go wrong based on pattern and trend and anomalies instead of focusing on what already happened and just fixing what happened already. So moving from reactive to proactive, this is the name of the game. And forecasting risk, again, incredibly important because of all the turmoil that is happening nowadays. It's very, very important that we get a little bit more ahead on time. And again, by looking at past data, trends, patterns, looking at external events as well, news data, things that happen in the world are external to the company, AI can analyze the data, compare it with the internal data of the company, and therefore predict potential future risk and alert the relevant stakeholder when needed. So, quick example of, I'm sure that it'll be a very common example you have come across from financial transaction. So, in AI bots, notice that our employee always submit travel expenses just under the approval limit. So let's say the approval limit is $5,000, and this particular employee just submit $4,950, just about lower than the limit. The AI can check past records, find this pattern repeat across different employees as well. So it could be something that actually repeats in the company, and therefore identify this potentially policy loophole that has been exploited. Now, the system then can automatically, again, flag this to the relevant stakeholder. And before it turns into a major fraud case, which we have seen in the news quite a lot, then the auditor can adjust the company policy or suggest an adjustment to company policy to close that loophole. This is a very realistic example that I've seen happening actually in reality many, many times. So what do we need to do to future-proof the audit strategy? The best practice is that you need to make sure that, first of all, you're using a tool, a central tool, a one defined source of data they use for your auditor. So this is where we say that Excel is not exactly the best tool. While Excel is very powerful and it does a lot of things, it's very flexible, and people are used to it because they use it every day, is not the best tool because it doesn't actually allow you to connect many data sources together. It doesn't allow you to be flexible in the way you store the data, but at the same time, give you accountability of when the data is changed or modified, which is incredibly important for internal audit. So first of all, having a tool to centralize all that information as an internal auditor is incredibly important. Then what you would need to do is identify some high impact use cases, and especially something where you've got quite a lot of historical data. So if you're talking about incident and risk events, usually you may have several years worth of data of your issues, your action plans, and things like that. So it would be easier for an AI agent to analyze the data and compare it with what you've got in the company at the moment. Even better if you can attach that particular tool to at least one source of data, let's say your ERP, because that comparison is going to be incredibly useful for that particular agent to learn what are the normal trends and what could be an exception to the norm. And again, ensuring data quality and integration is incredibly important. If you feed the AI data that is not exactly what you were looking for, so it's not good data, or it's data that is not relevant to what you're trying to do, then it will give you results that are not relevant from what you're looking to. So it's garbage in, garbage out. Unfortunately, that is true with AI as much as true with any data analytics or business intelligence. So how do we overcome those initial problems? First of all, we need to start small. A lot of people, unfortunately, because of the buzzword and because of what is in the market today, they want to start very, very big. They want to convert everything to AI. They want AI to do everything for them. Now, that'll be a very nice world to live in, but this is not how it works. It still requires a lot of work. It still requires your IT team to be involved and work together with you to understand what are the low-hanging fruit that we can use first. So just starting with AI within your audit tool would be a good step forward because you're using the tool anyway. So if it does provide AI capability, that's a very good start. Even with your data that you've got, that you collected throughout the years with your audit, that is an incredibly good start. And then maybe later on, where you get the hang of it, you can start adding one data source at a time. So adding 3, 4, 5, 10 different data sources all together won't make your life any easier, nor it will make the IT person life any easier. You need to start with one and understanding the comparison between that data source data and then your historical audit data. That is going to give you a lot of bang for your bucks to begin with, and it's going to be relatively easier compared to adding a lot of different source of data. And then running a small POC, okay, a proof of concept project where you can identify a very defined set of outcomes that you want to reach, and then use that to build a business case that you can provide to the business so they can understand in reality what added benefit they're going to get from AI.
So where to get started? First, you're going to assess your current audit process. So identify inefficiencies, repetitive tasks, and areas where AI can enhance accuracy, speed, and risk mitigation. We want to select the right AI solution as well. So evaluate AI-driven audit tools based on features like anomaly detection, predictive analytics, and automation capabilities. And then pilot and scale your implementation. Start with a small scale deployment, measure performance, and gradually expand AI integration across those audit functions. Some additional resources for you to get started: explore insights from organizations like ISACA, PwC, and Deloitte on AI's role in audit transformation. Familiarize yourself with AI governance models such as the NIST AI RMF, ISO 42001, and regulatory expectations. And then also enhance your AI skills with AI-focused audit certifications from professional bodies like the IIA and the AICPA. How we can help. One, we'd like to surface that we do have strategic partnerships with advisories throughout the world. Right now, we use EY, SureStep, and Central, which are 3 advisories that do a lot around AI decision making and helping your organization adapt to the AI world. And we'd also like to surface, and I'll let Nichol talk about this, our Connected IQ AI program that will be implemented into Connected Risk throughout 2025 and 2026.
Okay, let me talk about the Connected IQ. Is what we're trying to do is put AI in service of our customer and really identify the real case studies and real case scenario that would deliver value to our clients. So we're not going to just add and slap AI as a thing in our website. We are going to actually do POC with our customers and making sure that it is actually helpful, the use case. So what we are doing, what we're going to start with is to identify the critical area of focus with intelligent recommendation based on historical non-conformities. Again, as I said before, using your own historical data to inform the better decision making. An example would be when you are building your audit plan. There is a lot of things that get into consideration for building an audit plan. The AI can give you suggestion for that. What is the area where you had the major risk happening? Where are the areas where you had more incident? And do you have any risk that is connected to another area of the business that you didn't consider? So surfacing that area or the risky area with the amount of data that you have got, the historical data you have got, will augment your qualitative judgment based on your experience. So that will be quite helpful. And then automating the evidence collection by extracting and linking relevant document to compliance requirement. So what I mean by that is there is going to be always in every audit, there is a lot of documentation that you have to sift through, a lot of documentation that you have to attach as evidence, and also a lot of documentation that will respond to that particular process or issue that you are facing, like a policy. So AI can help you with that. It can summarize the document, but it can also surface whenever you raise a particular control, can surface in your company, you've got this policy that are relevant to the control you're actually testing. So you always have that evidence at ends, okay? So it can do multiple things to speed up the level you work. And then conversational AI, which you're very familiar with chatbots, could help to audit and answer regulatory questions. So again, connected to a large library of regulation that are relevant for your organization. They can assist saying, okay, this particular section of this particular regulation will be relevant to this particular control you're putting in place in all your testing. So again, putting the data where is needed, not just data for the sake of it. And then AI-driven recommendation is to ensure that compliance action align with the best practice and standards. So again, it's not about having that particular part of the regulation surfaced in an audit, but it's also understanding what do I need to do to actually cover this part of the regulation to be compliant? Where are the gaps in my organization that I need to plug, and how do I do that? Okay, what kind of control do I have in place? What other companies are using to control that particular part to be compliant? And then the next one is to simplify the incident reporting and policy query with the AI-powered assistant, reducing the response time and enhancing the accuracy. Again, AI helping with how do you report the issue and what kind of action plan can be put in place, augmenting the qualitative kind of data with quantitative from AI and suggesting.
We're always willing to assist you with anything that you need from an audit or internal controls lens. So you can get a free demo today with our empowered sales team. We have 3 really awesome people throughout the world that are helpful for everything that you may look for. So connect with us after the webinar and we'll make sure that you're directed to a member of our team that would be suited for your organization's audit processes. Thank you. We want to surface our next event, which is choosing the right GRC software, build versus buy debate. It's on the 27th of April at 8 a.m. US Eastern Time, 12 GMT, and registration is now open on LinkedIn and through our email blast. We'll send one out after this as well. I do want to open up, though, for questions if anyone has any, and we'd be more than happy to answer them for the next 5 or so minutes as we're continuing to widen this down. You can put them in the chat if you have a question. Someone asked, are you focusing on incorporating functionality of tools like Audits, Analyzer, or ACL into connected risk?
Good question. Since I used to work for ACL, and Audits is just like a spin-off of ACL. Yes, we can integrate with any analytic tool. All our tool is basically API based, so we can easily connect to any tool that you're using. So you don't have to effectively buy a different tool or anything else. We call that peaceful coexistence, where you can effectively connect and integrate, again, push and pull data with our tool, with analytics. We are actually working on building our analytic functionality so that you don't have effectively to leave the tool and you can connect with even more data sources easily.
Cool. What are some prompts that people can use today to assist them with their AI audits?
That's a good question. It is more of prompt engineering. It depends. If you're using something like ChatGPT, there is a lot of things that can help you out on speeding up. Probably the best one is on the reporting front. So whenever you're building your audit report, is having that done with the right information by a chatbot, of course, is gonna ease up the pain of having to check document multiple times every time, and it's gonna increase or decrease, sorry, the time that it takes to build that document. Again, there are other tools. One things that we do effectively in our tool is to build a report automatically based on the data that you have got in the tool, so that you don't have to spend ages building that Word document or PowerPoint presentation and just cut and copying the data that you've got in whatever tool you use, being Excel or SharePoint or another tool. A modern tool would do that for you. It will use your template, so whatever you have got and you're using and you're familiar with, and then just populate that template with one click with whatever you already did, which is effectively the audit in the work paper and whether issue or finding you identified. So that's what we released, or actually we are releasing in the next 2 days, and it will. Our customer already are giving us feedback that it decrease the level of effort that it takes to do an audit report considerably.
Another question that just came in, is Connected IQ an add-on to an existing audit tool that require the audit software to be replaced?
No, it's an add-on. It's basically another functionality that we're going to embed in the tool. So whenever you buy a module from us, being audit or any other functionality, then it will be added to that, and it will complement that particular solution, which is something that is quite different from other tools, is that it's not a generic AI. It's tailored to that particular use case. So it's going to deliver value for that particular use case. It's not just a generic chatbot like most of other companies use. It is easier to build a chatbot because effectively the job is already been done for us by the OpenAI of this world, but it doesn't provide the same value of having an AI agent that is purpose-built for that particular solution, that particular use case, and that particular data.
Another question came in, how have audit tools with AI balanced truth versus the AIs that we've seen all making up or skewing results, thinking in the space of trusting the results from the AI?
Well, first of all, you shouldn't trust the result from AI. The way AI works, I wouldn't say that you shouldn't trust the result. But again, as I said before in the presentation, it really depends on the kind of training or the kind of data augmentation that AI agent goes through. If the data is spurious and is generic, so what we're talking about is what OpenAI use, which is finding data from newspaper and from any possible source you can think of, then of course the results are not going to be tailored to what you're looking for. Okay, they can be very good, don't get me wrong, but usually they are quite generic and prone to hallucination and error, even if things are getting better and better as we speak. When the actual augmentation is done with relevant data and is trained in the proper way with the mind of whatever is the persona that is using the tool, in this case an auditor, then it is a completely different paradigm, because you don't risk to have hallucination on the tool, because that's a very, very well-defined use case. And again, it's true for anything that is being trained to a subset of data.
All right, there doesn't appear to be any more questions. The one question that I keep seeing pop up is about auto audit and whether auto audit can be used with Connected IQ. Unfortunately, it cannot be used with Connected IQ. It will be put into Connected Risk for audit. We do have generous pricing for auto audit customers to transfer to Connected Risk, including complimentary. Happy to speak to you about what that looks like to move you onto a cloud-based solution. It is helpful to understand that Connected Risk is also on-premise, so it does not have to be hosted by us. It can be hosted by yourself and can be used in that same function as well. So just kind of giving you guys an update on that. Another question looks like a great overview session starting our AI journey, and wonder if the slides will be shared to support our SLT on the start. Yes, the slides will be shared. I will send an email out to everyone with these as well. We also have an ebook or a white paper that we put together called Harnessing AI in Internal Audit, which I will also share with this group as well. And then we have another ebook that's coming out, which is Prompt Engineering for Internal Audit, which should be really great. So hopefully that helps everyone. All right, we have about 1 minute left. I'm happy to take any additional questions, but we will continue this series as well, especially for our internal auditor friends, and are more than to continue doing this. We'd love to hear more ideas from you guys and what you'd like to hear from us. We'd love to share.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.